let's talk about music distribution. If you ever wanted to know how to get your music on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, even TikTok, I'm gonna be breaking it down in this video. Alright, so as an independent artist, music distribution is probably one of the most crucial things you should know about, especially when it comes to exposure, getting your music out there. If you don't have a distributor in 2025, how you plan to build a fan base, right? Just releasing music on SoundCloud or any of the free platforms like they did back in the day, that's not gonna help you get more exposure and essentially build an audience that's trying to pay for your music. You gotta go where the people are. So I know Spotify has a free tier for streaming, which I'm pretty sure they're the largest streaming platform for music in the world, right? Apple Music, Tidal, Amazon Music, these are not free. These are barrier entry, so basically you gotta pay to get on them. So you wanna make sure your music's everywhere. TikTok, right? You wonder how people use those sponsored sounds on TikTok, the songs go viral. All of that is set up through your distributor. So stay tuned, we're gonna be talking about that. I wanna get into it and talk about what music distribution is, right? So in a nutshell, it's everything that I just pretty much told you, which is about these companies are set up and they help you get your music on these major platforms. If you're not on a major label and you're an indie artist, you don't have a direct connect to get your song on Spotify. You may not have the access to playlists. You may not have the access to whatever. So all of these, like I would say, indie or third-party distributors popped up within the last, I would say, 10 years. Some of them even longer when it comes to like a CD Baby or a TuneCore. But yeah, basically they help the smaller artists get their start, right? And essentially, once you get in the door, if you're able to build a fan base, then you can go to that next level and start dealing with some indie major distributors and possibly even major distributors. But let's break down the best distributors for independent artists, right? Or we're gonna start with DistroKid. Now, I use DistroKid. DistroKid is one of those ones that's like, if you don't know about DistroKid, it's a platform that's free. It costs you no money to get on there. It costs you nothing to, hold on. I don't know what's going on, so we about to just see. Dude look like his car broke down. He got tense. Yeah, I don't know. Brother smoking, but look. DistroKid is one of them free platforms that allows you to get on and keep going. Basically lets you keep going and understand what you got to do. So, damn, this car smoking. Hold on, I'll be back. Y'all know when you are on your own and you filming videos, you gotta kind of watch your back. So I had to watch and see what shorty was on. I ain't know what she was on. But yeah, let's talk about DistroKid. Hold on. So let's bring it back real quick. All right. So DistroKid is one of those platforms that it is a cost associated with it. Now, some platforms will be free, right? But then other platforms will give you a... All right. So let's talk about costs. Let's talk about... All right, so let's talk about the streaming options, right? You have DistroKid, right? And they have a 3-tier membership option. Now, this is a paid platform, right? You do have a barrier to entry, so there are fees associated with DistroKid, but I'm gonna go through the pros and cons for each. I'm gonna go through the price, and then let you guys make the best choice for yourself. So their basic plan is the musician plan. Starts at $22.99 a year, and you can have unlimited uploads. So if you release one song or you release, I don't know, 1,000 songs, there's no additional cost for you releasing those songs to those distributors, and that'll make sure you get your music all around the world, from Apple Music to Spotify to Tidal, right, and all the most popular ones, even to the ones that are not in America or the Western Hemisphere, like South Korea, Japan, whatever streaming platforms you can get your music on, you'll be on it. Then you have the Musician Plus plan. Now, this is a second tier, that mid-tier plan, and this allows you to have more than one artist release music under that subscription. So say for instance you are an artist and you may have two different type of genres that you do music for. You don't want to collide those two together. Then you will have a separate one, and you will use that to separate your music and separate your fans, so you wouldn't collude it, right? So it's similar to like if you have a YouTube channel that does different things. You may have one cooking channel, you may have one that's talking about sports, so on and so forth, and you don't want to mix the two. You can have an additional account through DistroKid, and you can upload all your uploads there, right? Cool, right? And that is $39.99 a year. It allows you to have 2 artists in customizable release dates. So I guess that allows you to pre-plan your release as well. This is actually the plan I use, the Musician Plus plan, and it's also good for splits. So like if you are working with an artist and you guys are collaborating as a group or something, and you want to release music as a group and also have your personal account, this is a good plan to have. And then you have the label plan. Now the label plan is $89.99 a year for up to 5 artists, and higher tier for more artists. So that allows you, if you're a record label and you have starting out 5 artists, or you want more, it'll be an additional fee. But let's say you have 5 artists, right? Just starting at $89.99, you have unlimited releases for the year. And yeah, so DistroKid is pretty transparent, it's pretty simple. Once you sign up, release unlimited music for the year, and we'll go through the pros, right? Unlimited uploads, you keep 100% of the royalty. So that's what you're paying for with DistroKid. Like I mentioned, there are some other companies that have what they would consider free, air quote, free plans, but we'll get into those later, right? But one thing about DistroKid is you keep your royalties 100%. They don't want anything. And I feel like when you're starting out, you don't want to be relinquishing any amount of money to anybody when it comes to equity. So just stick with the yearly plan. Their subscriptions are annual, so there are no month-to-month fees. And you sign up for the year, and the progress is pretty much on you. You know within that year how many songs you released, how useful was the subscription, and at the end of the year, if you don't want to subscribe, make sure that you go to your settings and uncheck auto renew. So you should get a notification when your year is about to renew. But if not, you should be on to that, like, hey, I signed up, I don't want to re-sign my stuff with these guys, so basically I'm gonna cancel my account. You know what I mean? So that's one option you could do. And fast distribution to major platforms. Now I can attest to that. Me, typically in the past, I used to plan my releases out like month to month. I used to go like, maybe I do a song that's ready to go, and I may have a 2-week release schedule where I try to tease it, release certain things. What I found out, to me, is that doesn't work, right? It's about building the catalog, and anytime you put music out as an independent artist, you already don't have the fan base. You're trying to build it. So it's not the stuff that major artists do that already have a fan base and they have people anticipating their music. It doesn't work for the independent artist. You have to, don't tease the music, just release the music. That's my sentiment. Every time you have a song and you putting it on social media, whatever content you have linked to it, make sure that you have in the description where they can hear the song. They should be able to hear the song immediately, because anytime somebody shows interest, they need to be able to act on it, and you need to be able to capitalize on that. I don't understand like trying to tease something that people don't even know you exist. If they happen to pay you attention, you need to be able to capitalize on that, right? So major artists, they have the benefit of a marketing department, people knowing them. They can rely on these old tactics. When you are an artist starting out, build your fan base, then you can start implementing some of those things. But in the beginning, anytime you posting any content, right, make sure people know where they can find it, listen to it. And yeah, that's what I would say. So all right, now the cons of dealing with a DistroKid per se. Okay, it's no free tier, so that could be a con for some people if they don't have any money starting out. They don't have, and they're just day one wanting to get started on DistroKid. DistroKid would not be the platform for you. You do have to be able to pay for the yearly subscription to get started, right? And limited marketing and playlist pitching features. So this platform, it doesn't have native or intuitive playlist pitching outside of, they do have the option to submit to Spotify. However, you have to plan your release within a minimum of a week. So if you were to release a song and you were looking for a new song to drop, right, you would have to have at least 7 days from when you were going to release the song to submit to Spotify playlist editors. And you would do this all within the Spotify for Artists app. As you know, DistroKid and Spotify are in a partnership. So essentially they do say that they make sure that all songs submitted are listened to. I don't know how true that is or not. My theory is I stopped worrying about getting playlists and securing those things and just started worrying about building a fan base. Started worrying about building my catalog. Those things, as much as great they are, that's like hitting the lotto. And these sentiments I keep telling y'all about, like hitting the lotto, we got to break that cycle as an independent artist. You got to break that mindset of this song is the one, this can be the one. You just got to focus on putting out great music. You got to focus on continually dropping consistent music. So now when you do build an audience, they know and they can expect to have new music from you. They can expect to have new visuals from you. And you just foster and build that community of support around you. Stop worrying about these big lottery type of things like getting on a Spotify. Listen, they have major artists competing for Spotify playlists every Friday, and they're not even guaranteed a certain amount of spots. Only a certain amount of spots are guaranteed to get in there. And if major labels are competing against each other, what makes you think a song out of nowhere, you have relatively no streams, nobody knows you, that they're just gonna pump it up and jump it up to #1 or get it on these Spotify playlists out of nowhere? It doesn't happen like that, bro. You gotta lose the fairy tale mentality and realize, like, building a fan base is like building a business or, you know, a startup company. You gotta look at like Google or, you know, or Twitter and all these companies when they started, where they were at in garages and building, you know, their company up. They didn't have the money and all of these things coming out from the jump, competing against, you know, the mega companies and all of these different things. So you got to look at yourself like that. You're a startup company, right? And you got to build the equity. You got to build the value. You build the value by building the community and building demand. That's just a simple principle of business. Supply and demand. The more demand and the lower the supply, the more value, right? So it's only one of you. You can only do what you can do, no matter what. Find yourself, find your voice, no matter if somebody tries to duplicate it or not. It's only one of you, right? So then that means is you're in small quantity. Now it's up to you to build your demand, right? So the next one is TuneCore. Now, TuneCore has a membership cost of a rising artist plan, $14.99 a year. It gives you basic features. Breakout artist plan at $29.99 a year. Additional tools and insight. And professional plan is $49.99 a year plus $14.99 per additional artist, which is designed for labels. So, like with DistroKid, this is a 3-tier membership as well, but I say it's more flexibility when it comes to price to get started, because you could start at $14.99 a year, whereas DistroKid starts at $22.99 a year. And also when it comes to the label with the professional plan, let's say you had 3 artists, right? So not quite the Musician Plus where you have $39.99 for DistroKid for 2 artists, and not quite the label plan for $89.99 for 5 artists on DistroKid. Let's say you have 3 artists, you just want to get started. Well, you can sign up for TuneCore for $50 a year for your 3 artists, which is cheaper for your $89.99 in a year. And only difference is it gives you the option to have more artists at a later date, so that's always good. But if you want to save a little money going into it because you don't know how much you're going to be releasing music, how valuable this is going to be, this is a good flexibility. Now the pros for TuneCore is you have wide distribution network, right? So it goes to all the platforms, pretty much the same platforms as DistroKid. This offers publishing, administration, and sync licensing. Now this is good because administration means that all of the paperwork, like registering your music with BMI or ASCAP and your performance rights organizations, right, and possibly providing sync opportunities for you to submit your music to, they have a department at TuneCore that'll handle that for you. So if you're interested in sync licensing, and that's a major factor for you to where you don't want to look into that. The cons is limited control over release dates. So I would guess like the basic tier on TuneCore, the basic tier on DistroKid, there's certain limitations on when you can release something. So like you can't schedule release until you have the Musician Plus plan, which is the mid-tier plan, $39.99 a year for DistroKid. And I'm guessing for United Masters, there's a control over how you can release it. Like for DistroKid, I can release day of with the mid-tier plan. So it's many times as once the song is done, I release it day of and it's up, right? It goes to the my artist YouTube topic channel, and within the next 24 hours it's delivered to Spotify. Within 48 hours it's delivered to Apple Music and iTunes, and then so on and so forth. So that's a game changer to me, not having to wait. Once I have a song, I just want to capitalize on it. I don't have to wait and have a 7-day notification to the platform to release content. So that's always a plus, right? And number 5, and the last one we're going to discuss, is Amuse. So the membership cost for Amuse is $19.99 a year. It gives you basic features. That's the boost plan. Then you have the pro plan, which is $59.99 a year. Similar cost to United Masters. And it comes with advanced features like faster support. The pros is you have a free plan and you have a user-friendly interface, right? But the cons are they take a percentage of royalties on the free plan and fewer additional services compared to competitors. So what you find out is that a lot of these platforms have similar business models. If they offer a free plan, it usually comes at the expense of giving up some equity. And if they do not have a free plan, they usually have a 3-tier business model where it comes with a basic, mid, and pro level. So you have to look through and see what best matters for you. I would say the best platform for unlimited uploads would be DistroKid. I would say the best for one-time fees is CD Baby, obviously, if you don't want to repay. Oh, quick thing I want to know. If you don't renew your subscription, there's an option for you to, at the time of your release on DistroKid, for you to opt in to make sure that these songs will always be online. Because I believe if you don't renew your subscription, then they won't remain in the stores. So that's something to pay attention to, right? It's definitely something to look into. Best for beginners on a budget. So the list that I compiled and that I got the information from is saying United Masters because it has a free tier. But I'm gonna say, if I'm being honest, giving up equity and 10%. Now, once again, 10% of nothing is nothing. So if you don't make any money, having the ability to start day one, right, and have to pay nothing up front, that is appealing. I would say because you don't know how much you're gonna put in it, energy, money, or anything, and you just starting off, you just want your music in Spotify, Apple Music, or whatever, that is an option. You can definitely start free today with United Masters. upload any track, get it to Apple, Spotify, Tidal, all these different places, and yeah, it costs you nothing. But just in hindsight, if the song ever blows up or anything, you offer them 10%. But if it doesn't, you're not out of any money, and it was just for fun, and it was just an experiment. So yeah, that's always an option. So, and then let's talk about best for advanced tools. So it's saying TuneCore or Amuse. Now, I've heard good things about TuneCore. I even know that starting out, Nipsey Hussle used TuneCore, because there was an Instagram post where he uploaded a check or a payout from TuneCore, where he logged into his digital dashboard, and it was roughly $1 million that he grossed from TuneCore. Right, this was pre-signing with Atlantic, so it was just a post to motivate independent artists that there's opportunities out there. And you gotta imagine, for him to be a artist making that much money, he could have easily shifted to a distributor, like a label-based or indie major distributor. And for the sake of giving that information out, we could talk about that, because these are all indie startup distributors for artists that are not having the relationships, that don't have the cachet or the notoriety to walk into the mini majors distributors, or the label-based arm distributors. So a lot of the labels have distributor companies that they go through, like Sony has Orchard, right? You have AWOL, you have Symphonic, Ditto Plus, right? You have ADA, which is Warner Music, and Ingrooves, which is Universal Music. These are all distributor companies attached to major record companies. And you may not want to sign a recording contract, but you may want to sign a distribution contract if you have notoriety. So what the distribution companies do on the next tier, once you have the notoriety and you have the cachet, and you want to graduate from the indie distributors like the DistroKids and the TuneCores, they have access to global networks for promotion and distribution, resources for branding, touring, and larger marketing campaigns. And you have increased likelihood of being placed on high visibility playlists. Basically, it's like being signed to a label, because they have the relationships, right? They could get your music and things on radio. They can get your music across the world. And they have the real relationship with music supervisors. So when we talk about being considered for music, for movies, for TV shows, and commercials, this is a real possibility when you have these relationships, because you're in the system now. So these are the graduated companies. But just starting out as an independent artist, which is what we focus on the day-to-day, start today, low barrier to entry, sign up, start an account, whether that be free or an annual subscription, and you can get started. So I hope this video been helpful. Don't forget to give this a like, comment in the comments, leave a comment and say, what have you learned from this? If you learned anything, let me know if there are any topics you want me to elaborate on. Like I said, guys, I'm just sharing my experience as I grow on my journey. And these are the things that helped me out when I was coming up, just going through and knowing how to vet companies, what offers I would want to incorporate into my journey, you know, what benefits me. It's all about doing the research and see, because in the music industry, there's always some third-party company ready to take your money, ready to pounce on you because you want to live a dream or something. So I'm trying to get you guys to understand, you got to have a business mindset. You got to be more savvy, right? You got to think of it like internet scams, right? We are the age of the internet. Our parents and the generations behind us didn't come up using the internet. So there's a lot of things that scams wise and different things they may be able to fall or more privy to, because they just don't even know what to look for. Likewise, in the music industry, there's a lot of people that get taken advantage of because they just don't know what to look for, and they just think, oh, somebody's gonna discover me, I'm gonna be famous. And you gotta put the pipe dream aside of you. You gotta kind of look at it like a business and know, like, hey, I'm building out a niche. I really have the infrastructure and the talent and the will to do it. So what I'm gonna do is build out the infrastructure, I should say. You have the willpower to build the infrastructure, right? You just gotta have the know-how. You gotta know, like, don't be willing to spend money crazy up front, because there's always somebody with their hand out telling you they could do it. So you gotta be able to vet these companies. You gotta be able to vet these people that you do consults with. You gotta be able to vet all of these things, right? But I hope that gave you some insight on music distribution and the companies you can look into. I will provide a link in the description to my DistroKid sign up. Once again, I'm not affiliated with any of these companies. I'm just telling you what I use and what's worked for me. This is year 4 of being on DistroKid and release. Actually, I'm tripping. This is actually like year 7. Yeah, I think I signed up in 2017. It just got to 2015, so we're going on 8 years, right, since I've been releasing music. And I've tried different ones. I've tried Amuse. I've tried Root Note, which is a UK-based company. I've tried a bunch of different ones, but I found that DistroKid works best for me. So I will have my sign up, which will offer you a discount. So you do get a discount as on all of those tiers, whether you sign up for the basic musicians plan, the musicians plus, or the label plan. All right, signing off for the day. Appreciate you rocking with me. Till next time, peace.